In this section, I will discuss some of the must-have skills for success in a data profession. When you present your data, it is very essential that you tell a good story with the visuals. Visuals are what limits and removes the monotony of looking at long text. Some of your stakeholders could be higher executives or top executives, and they don't have time to read your bundle of reports. Few visuals is what they need. So you have to start learning how to tell a good story and let your story be sequential. Let it address all the questions the data set answered. As you progress in your career, it may help you to start using other softwares that are not point and click, such as Power BI is a GUI interface software that you point and click and drag and drop. That is good. Very powerful analytical and business intelligence software. But it is essential to learn to write some level of codes, maybe in Python, in R, because these are some of the ways you can break out of the box. Now, what do I mean the box? Softwares like Power BI, they are written and they are already stated what they can do and what they can do. But you can extend what they can do if you're able to write codes in certain languages. That will take you out of the box. That will help you to add more functionality. It is a good requirement, but it's not compulsory. I will not suggest you start it now, but as you get confidence in your analysis, then you may want to start extending some functionalities. Another skill you may need beside Python and R is the structured query language, popularly known as SQL. SQL is basic. When I mean basic, it's highly essential in analytics. You need to know it if you work with large data sets and need to sift out only the part you need. SQL is essential in data retrieval, in manipulation, in data aggregation, filtering, joining tables, and performing queries. So it's important to know SQL. Statistics is important in data analytics. You need to have a good knowledge of basic statistics. I'm not saying you're going to become a statistician just because you're a data analyst. No. That's not what I mean. But you need to be able to understand some basic concepts of data exploration, descriptive analytics, and some others. You need to have those basic understanding. So as you're working your way through to polish your data, a little bit of statistics will help you to know the right action to take. Do not think that critical thinking is only useful for data professionals. It is also useful in various other professions and in various aspects of life. Not only will you need it in analytics, but in various other things you're doing. Those skills will take you through and will take you far and will help you to improve in many things you do. So don't say, oh, why do I have to learn critical thinking skills just because I want to do analytics? No, it's going to be a lifesaver in many situations you may find yourself. Before you dive into analyzing data, there are some preparations. There are basic foundations you need to have. The first is understanding the business. Every business has an underlying process, it has an underlying knowledge about the industry, about the government regulations that regulates the activities within that industry, about the ethics of that profession or that industry. So it's very important that you have that background knowledge. If you don't have the background knowledge as a newbie analyst, that won't be a problem. What you need to do is that whatever industry you are interested in working, you need to at least do some research, talk to some people working in that industry, maybe identify people working in that industry through online groups or join a professional group of people working in that industry. That is how you can be able to learn some of the intricacies and workings of the industry. There are also various resources you can use to understand an industry. But understanding an industry and how it operates will help you as an analyst. That will help you make decisions about particular data set. And before every analysis you conduct, there must be an objective. So before you dive in, ensure that you have a definite objective. You can write it out yourself. It helps to ask questions. Having an objective helps you to keep abreast or informed as you wade through the data, knowing that this is what I'm looking for. This is the reason why I'm wading through this data. It is also important to understand some of the effects or conditions that will trigger an investigation or trigger the need for analysis. Some of them may be a symptom, and sometimes there may be a root cause. The root cause will be looking at why is the sale down, for example, or why are some people in a particular city experiencing some symptoms, or why are there frequent accidents on a road. So when addressing symptoms, you need to ask questions. Remember, the major thing you're doing with your data is to ask questions. And that data, if it is the right data, you'll be able to use it to respond to certain questions. Your stakeholders are interested in getting responses. They want answers to those questions. They need to know. As a data analyst, sometimes you're expected to wear several caps at the same time. You're expected to know more than your job description requires you. But that is not something to worry about. The secret to it is you need to be able to ask questions. If you develop good communication skills, you will not have problem asking questions. From the problem and the objective, you can ask questions like what is happening, what is going on, is there something causing this to happen? Once you have asked those questions, you need to look at the data to determine if that data can respond to those questions. And if that data cannot respond to the question, you may need to reach out to maybe third parties, reach out to other departments in your organization or to other stakeholders. You may even need to scrape some of the data you need from existing reports, from existing research reports or websites, or from a survey, so that you can be able to respond to each of the questions you need to respond to in your data. And that is where, if you're really good with visualization, you'll be able to draw them together and give a more in-depth response. As you're starting a project, ask your employer or whoever the job is reporting to if there is an existing key performance indicator, popularly known as KPI. Find out if there are metrics already in use so you can employ it in your data. It is often very good if there's an existing KPI, but if there's none, you may have to work with the relevant stakeholders to understand those critical success factors that they need to make the business work, or they need to understand a certain problem. That is where good communication skill helps you as a data analyst, because you're going to need to ask a lot of questions. And as we know, many individuals don't like questions. They don't like how you're asking them questions. Some people, when you ask them questions, they feel like you're doubting them. They may not understand that you're only trying to get to see the whole picture or to have a feel of what has happened or how the data was generated. But you just have to do that. So that means you're going to have to develop good attitude. Even when people don't want to talk to you, you may have to make them talk to you, because you are not supposed to generate data yourself. You need stakeholders' input before you can work on your analysis or before you can make a suggestion. Depending on how big your organization is, some of the responses you're bringing out may not be actionable without top management approval. Sometimes the people that your analysis portrays in a bad light may block the report from getting to top management. It may be a report that exposes poor performance or show negative causative effects on profitability. But with good attitude, you can explain your analysis and get stakeholders buy-in. Unfortunately, there's no shortcut to that. Good communication skills will take you far as a data analyst. In this section, I discuss some of the very, very essential and foundational skills you need to succeed in a data profession. The topics I discussed here are by no means exhaustive. There are many others, but these are the ones you need to jumpstart your career and be successful in it.